linear energy transfer is higher than cobalt 60 and others. So ion beam is best among EMS, cobalt 60, X-ray. I think
Yeah, yeah,
this
that is okay.
duality.
But when you are talking on the point mutation, I mean the
Yeah.
single nucleotide variation. So how can you actually explain in the ion beam? But because always we think about on EMS, EM is better than even the gamma irradiation for point mutation. I mean the genome editing program. Dr. Pillai, please.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have experience in heavy ion beam, so I cannot mention that. But from what I understand, I think the question you're asking is what is, I think, for future research to look at the combinations of those two. But there are certain plant species, plant varieties that genome editing cannot work. And so this is the reason why they go to these other technologies. And also the most important thing that you have to keep in mind is that the moment you edit a crop, it is considered genetically modified around the world. So you may not even be able to grow it anywhere. Well, unlike crop mutation breeding using ionizing radiation.
Yeah. Uh, Actually, I am not talking on the GMO, but rather I talk to in the same species, the alteration of the gene in the same genome or the same species, so that there will be no controversy, no debate. So they think that I am talking on the same. I am considering the same species, no
Yeah.
other species,
Okay.
only related species. If I alter the gene, if I edit the gene through EMS, so can I get the higher possibility of the, I mean, the variation or the target the specific trait?
My expertise is not in crop mutation breeding, so I don't want to hazard a guess about
Okay,
to answer your specific question.
okay. So any of the our scientists or from abroad, any questions? Any points to discuss?
Just to raise hand,
Who is that?
Nazmul Hassan Mehdi.
Mehdi, please. And another one?
I
Thank you,
myself.
sir.
Dr. Shariful also.
Okay. First of all, Mehdi, then Shariful. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you,
Mehdi, please.
sir, for giving me the floor.
Okay.
I have a question to Professor Suresh Pillai. Thank you for your nice and informative presentation. I just want to know that in post-harvest loss reduction of perishable commodity, is there any comparison study has been done regarding gamma ray versus ion beam irradiation?
I think we have to clarify the terminology. Actually, ion beam is different from electron beam or X-ray. Ion beam is what Professor Abe was talking about, which is based on protons.
Oh.
With electron beams,
Sorry,
electron.
electron beam,
Yeah.
gamma ray versus electron beam irradiation.
Yes, there are comparisons that have been done. The difference is that the dose rate in gamma radiation is very low compared to the dose rate with electron beam. And people have realized that there is less lipid oxidation in electron beam compared to gamma radiation. So that's a big major plus point. And so when you talk about shelf life extension for poultry and meat products, the ability to achieve shelf life extension without lipid oxidation is a significant value. And so, obviously there are, and also so fundamentally there are fundamental differences at that level. And so people who are working right now in electron beam, they're not going back and comparing it to gamma. That's like comparing an electric automotive to a carburetor engine. People are just using the technology currently that's there and trying to improvise it for this application. So people, I mean, like myself, I'm not too interested in going back and comparing it to cobalt 60 because that technology, in my opinion, is not going to be used anywhere. So I don't want to waste precious research dollars for backward comparison. I would rather use it to see what can I combine electron beam technology with. Can I combine it with modified atmosphere packaging? Can I combine it with freezer technology? Can I combine it with some other packaging technologies that give me a value add?
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Sharifullah, please.
Thank you, sir. My question is to Tomoko Abe. Thank you for your nice presentation. I would like to know the argon having the 290 electron volt per micrometer, and the dose is 50 gray.
Yes.
On the other hand, you mentioned 30 kilo electron volt per micrometer for carbon ion beam. The dose is high. That means 400 gray.
Yes.
So, is there really any relation between these two? I mean, the 290 kilo electron volt, the range. I mean, the linear energy transfer range. The dose is 50 gray. But why for 30 keV per micrometer, the dose is 400 gray? What is the difference for this, the dose difference? Why? I think it is more nuclear physics related. I don't know about your field. If you have answer, you may give now, or I can communicate later on.
Yeah, but actually she is a plant breeder and also biotechnologist, not a nuclear physicist. But Abe, if you have an answer, you can respond.
It's usually dose of carbon ion is higher than argon ions.
Yeah.
Because low LED beams need more
Higher.
dose.
And we know the high LED linear energy transfer accommodate those very localized and very short time, within
Yes,
a short time. So and relative biological effectiveness will be high.
Because
In that case, the reverse. Why?
high LED ions has a big effect region or something. So mutation induction need particle number is very low because their effective area is very big. So dose is low.
I think the materials, because argon is different and carbon is different, so ion. So maybe this is the main factor. I think I'm not sure. So I would like to search through some literatures, and I will also, if I have chance, I will communicate with you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Dr. Mahbul Alam, sir, you want to say something?
Okay.
Yes, thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Dr. Suresh, for your nice presentation. I want to know something from you that we know that cobalt-60 and cesium-137 both are we can use for irradiator. So now we are using cobalt-60, but if they are in your lab or other lab, is anyone is using cesium-137 for irradiation purpose, or if we use cesium-137 for irradiation, so is it effective like as cobalt-60 or less effective, or we can do something more to use cesium-137?
That's a good question, Dr. Alam. But cesium-137, the dose rate is very, very low. And so what happens is that your dose rate, so it is not applicable to much of irradiation programs other than very low doses, something like used in probably sterile insect technology or blood irradiation in the tens of grays, 30 grays, 40 grays, etc., 50 grays. That's what's used in sterile insect technology and blood irradiation. So cesium-137, it has no application beyond that small window of irradiation technologies. And so the problem also is that cesium-137 is a horrible horrible isotope to have in a country. It is of highest security concern for all variety of reasons. So I would strongly urge nobody to develop a research program with cesium-137 in today's highly security conscious world.
Okay, so I want to say you something that we are using cesium-137 for our research soil erosion deposition measurement research, because you know that after 50s, when the nuclear weapons testing, at that time lot of cesium-137 developed, and it and it deposited also in the soil. So now we can measure cesium-137 today, but it is very low concentration, like not more than 1000 becquerel per meter square. It is very low. So this cesium-137 moves with the clay particle. So if we can measure the cesium-137 concentration and its movement, so we can understand the soil movement nature, or soil erosion rate, or soil deposition rate, or also soil nutrient loss or gain, because cesium-137 in moves with the clay particles and also the nutrient losses. So it is safe for us because this concentration is very low, no hazardous for our environment or us. So
yes, I totally understand you are actually measuring cesium-137 to measure soil erosion or nutritional loss, etc. You're not using cesium-137 for irradiation technology.
Yes,
That's
yes.
a fundamental difference. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, yes, you should be able to develop detectors to detect that, the movement and things like that. But absolutely, I mean, those type of technologies are used around like stable isotopes and other technologies. So, but always the issue is that when you do need to have calibrators, and when you have to have calibrated instruments, you need to have cesium. And that's the problem happens, that you don't want to have cesium in a country because it is just, the concerns are very, very high.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure thing.
Nice to talk with you. Thank you.
Mr. Arifin, do you like to say something?
Arifin.
Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, Professor Suresh. Sir, actually, we are working for the last 15 years, maintaining the cobalt-60 and also the operation of this source. And we have the experience to work with United States Department of Energy to keep this place safe. So we know the hassle to all the issues regarding to radioisotope. So yes, you correctly mentioned that we have the opportunity to move forward for the better technologies. Actually, cobalt-60 for the last 60 years, the world used this technology, but now it's time to change, to move forward. And yes, now we have stable electricity in our country, but previously it was not here. Now we can look forward for electron beam. But the main problem to handle this type of technology is to develop ourselves to carry this type of facilities. And in your research organization, National Center for Electron Beam Research, so before doing any further application of electron beam, we need to collaborate with you to share your knowledge, and that will be helpful for understanding and going through this new electron beam research. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. It's a fantastic question, and I really appreciate your sentiment on this topic. It is absolutely, and that is one of the reasons why when Dr. Azad and I spoke about, I offered to present at this event, is because I want to let them know that Texas A&M University, we are an educational institution, and our focus is always education. So we always organize workshops in this technology. We organize short courses, or we can also organize, if need be, a very specific program for Bangladesh specifically. So, and also we also work very closely with many of the federal agencies that you spoke about. So there's absolutely part of this training of people person power training. You know, in very small countries like Costa Rica and Dominican Republic, they have electron beam facilities. And in countries like the Dominican Republic, where the power grid is not stable, they are actually operating the equipment using generator sets. So, and also there's new ideas coming about sustainability using solar power for many of the subunit operations of an electron beam facility for some of the chilling water systems, etc. So there's lots of innovation happening in that space as well, in terms of making the reliance on electrical grids even less, as much as possible.
Thank you, sir. We look forward to more in
Okay.
future.
Okay, thank you. I actually I will just allow only one question from Dr. Hasanuzzaman Rani.
Ronnie, are you connected?
Ronnie?
I think he is connected. Yeah, but I
Can
think
you
he'd not
make a
like
phone
to
call
say
to
something.
Ronnie?
Yeah?
Yes, I'm connected.
Can anybody make a phone call to Ronnie?
Sir, I'm
Yeah,
connected.
yeah,
Can you hear me?
he's online. Yeah. Dr. Ronnie, do you like to say something?
Ronnie,
No.
bolo.
Yes, sir. Yes. I want to thanks the two presenters for sharing this knowledge. As I'm a plant breeder, that we are actually using in our Institute of over 60 source, and I just learned from the Dr. Abe that ion beam irradiator, it can produce more double strand break in the chromosome. Actually, we need this one, because when we get the double strand break in the chromosome, then there is a admin sir, Dr. Azad sir, he has some variety that Binadhan Choddo, that was a fixed mutant in the M1 generation. But nowadays we are facing that in cobalt 60 source, actually we get this only a single strand break. So when we get irradiate the seeds and we get it, and there is we get a single strand break, and in the later generation it repaired, means we are not getting enough variations. So I think we should go for the ion beam or electron beam, this type of techniques, and it will be a great opportunity for us that if we collaborate with these two institutes also in USA and Japan, and if we can use this technology to irradiate our seed materials, and if we can use it in our plant breeding techniques, so it will be very good. Thank you, sir.
Just a last question from me actually. Then we'll finish. We'll hear from our co-chair, then I'll conclude. Abe, would you please actually see the any reversible situation, like sometimes mutants are dominant, and sometimes lethal, sometimes no mutations, and sometimes reversible. So in that case of ion beam, do you think that the ion beam is reversible? Because there is the chromosomal rearrangements, because there is LET is higher.
Yeah. Yes. We can see often chromosomal rearrangement. When you use the heavier ion, such as argon ion or iron ions. We have a early flowering mutant that is a major phenotype, major gene phenotype.
Major gene, yeah.
So, yeah. So that mutant has a chromosomal rearrangement.
Yes. So is there any possibility to reverse back to the parent?
Reverse.
I mean actually when you irradiate a plant,
Yes.
say crop A. Crop A is mutated, and it might be reversed back with its original traits or original characters. Is there any possibility in ion beam?
Usually we get a mutant is a mutant, not reverse the normal type, wild type.
Wild type, yeah.
So
There is no possibility
Yes.
to wild type. Okay, okay. Thank you.
I-
Okay. Thank you, the two speakers. Now I would like to request our co-chairman, Dr. Abul Kalam Azad, to say something very in short, please.
Thank you, sir, for giving me the floor. First, I thanks to presenters, Dr. Suresh Pillai from Texas A&M University, USA, and the other is from Japan, Tomoko Abe. I am very much delighted to have them in our conference, because they are very high profile scientists in the global aspect. Dr. Suresh and also Dr. Tomoko Abe, they are so high profile. They have so high, they maintain so high profile as a scientist. So I met them in a panel discussion. I was a panelist in that discussion also. Dr. Suresh Pillai was there and Tomoko Abe was there, and they are showing these alternative sources of mutation. Dr. Suresh Pillai was showing and saying about the electron beam and X-ray technologies, and Tomoko Abe was telling about the ion beam technology. But Dr. Suresh Pillai rightly mentioned that the difficulty of cobalt-60 and cesium-137 as a mutagen or as a source of mutation because of its cost, and also transport and availability is going to be reduced, and the possibility of hazard is higher. But in case of both ion beam and also electron beam, the hazard is very less, and even we can say that there is no hazard at all actually. So I congratulate both the presenters. They have very nicely presented their presentation, their talk, and I think as Dr. Suresh Pillai and also Tomoko Abe proposed for the collaboration for mutation breeding and also the food irradiation, and we are thinking about the establishment of irradiation center, and Dr. Suresh Pillai asked or request our DG to reconsider about the source of irradiation from cobalt-60 to electron beam. maybe we can, the doctor, actually our DG, I have already discussed with him that Dr. Suresh Pillai may raise some issues for collaboration with Bangladesh for irradiation center and also for mutation breeding. And I think it should, for deeper insight of this technology, we should have some more talk. Maybe later we can have the date. Maybe we can have the date and involving our DG and from the ministry people, maybe the secretary or BRC chairman can be in the entire our people also, our people from Dr. Shariful Haq Bhuya, who is seeing our Qual 60 source centered RFN also. So maybe later we can have a talk, maybe Zoom platform, or otherwise we can have a talk about the irradiation center for reconsideration and for collaboration with Japan and Dr. Suresh Pillai's laboratory for mutation breeding. We can have a collaborative project including Japan and also USA for see the comparison of electron beam, ion beam, and cobalt 60 maybe X-ray. We can have this study because many questions have come whether electron beam is more efficient or ion beam is more efficient or X-ray is more efficient or cobalt 60 is efficient. So we should have some comparison study in future, and we should decide which should be the next technology other than the cobalt 60. Maybe we can have a collaborative project. And many questions have come. Actually, our DG have many questions to Professor Abi about the use of the ion beam in CRISPR-Cas. That means gene editing. I think in gene editing, the EMS has been widely used, but the SNV, that means a single nucleotide variation, although EMS can create more variation, but next to EMS, carbon ion beam can create SNV, that means single nucleotide variation, which is very much important for gene editing. So this is one question. And reverse mutation. Actually, Dr. Abi already told that by cobalt 60, the single that means double strand break and single strand break. In case of cobalt 60, we have more single strand branch, and it is repairable. After irradiation in M2 generation, you have a reparation. The genes are repaired, or the breaks are repaired. But in case of cobalt ion beam and electron beam, I don't know what about the electron beam. But for ion beam, the repair is very late and even not. In that aspect, ion beam is more efficient than cobalt 60 source. And with these few words, I think our DG can conclude now. And before concluding my speech or my deliberation, I again thanks the two presenters, two of my friends. They are the member of the mutation breeding network for Asia Pacific, Dr. Kamutu Abi and also Suresh Pillai. I thank them again, and we think that, or we expect that we will have more collaboration for the mutation breeding and irradiation and something else. So thank you all, and also the the participants who has questions. They have very good questions, especially from the our irradiation group. That means Dr. Shariful Haq, Buya, Arifin. They have raised very good questions, and Dr. Pillai actually made it very clear and strongly he has answered the questions. So thank you all.
Make it short.
Yeah, again.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks to Dr. Abul Kalam Azad for his nice presentation and comments and suggestions. We'll look for that. And I will conclude as just our two speakers for this tonight. Actually, we are very delighted and we are very happy to hear from you, both of you. That's actually that we got the new actually idea and we got the new momentum. So actually, this is the actual way so that we can change our planning and also decision and very strong future in the mutation breeding and also use of nuclear techniques at BINA. So that's where we will think about it and we will make a collaboration and we are extending our hands for collaboration and future joint projects. We can look for that I technical cooperation projects or TC projects or RCA projects, even other projects too. So we look for that, even other source of funds, we can look for that. And we can arrange another conference to discuss about this matter in a wider range of nuclear scientific community like mutation breeding, plant genomics, and also microbiologists and post-harvest experts and with others. So we are looking for that and we'll collaborate with you very soon. So and I would like to thanks to our all participants, scientists, and also organizers who actually made their efforts to make it success, and our director, all the directors, and all the senior scientists. Again, I thanks them. So this is actually late night at around 8:30 in Bangladesh, 8:30 p.m. So I'll not make it longer. So I'll stop now. So again, we are looking forward working with you. I again congratulate you and thank you. And we are very, very grateful to you for this from this conference. So we'll be benefited
Thank you very,
from your
thank you
talk.
very much.
So thank you again. Yeah, be happy and be healthy.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Good
Good night.
night. Bye.
Yeah.
See you
Night.
again. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. General, sir, and also all participants. Tomorrow we will start at 14:30 Bangladesh Standard Time. All are requested to join with us. Thank you, sir. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
So, okay, thank you, sir.